Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical. Today we're here with the Olight Javelot Mini, but before we get into that, let me just say congrats to Bo Hart. He was the first winner of our giveaway, and he got a brand new Workos TS10 set. I included a charger because it does have a 14500 cell, and I wanted to make sure that he could use it right out of the gate. That being said, like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and you could be our next winner. Let's get on to the show. We have the Olight Javelot Mini. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is the first one I've personally used, but if it is anything like its predecessors and other variants of this model, they have something good on their hands. So now this is a long-range searchlight that does allow for belt carry. It is rated at 1000 lumens and has a max distance of 600 meters. The max beam intensity is 88,320 candelas. Now this does have a large deep reflector that helps that throw, definitely. And it is an 18500 cell battery. It does have the typical Olight MCC magnetic charging that Olight is known for, and frankly I think it's the best implementation of magnetic charging. There are two modes, simply a low and a high. This light is rated IPX8 waterproof, and let's get into the packaging so you can see everything that this fantastic light comes with. Alright guys, this is the box that the Olight Javelot Mini comes in. Like everything that Olight does, their packaging is top notch. This does have magnets in the flap, gives it an ultra premium feel. Has the specifications on the back here listed, shows that the light does come with a 5-year warranty. So let's get in here and see what it comes with. So it does have this placard that's become pretty standard recently, just to let you know that the light does have an insulator, so the battery's not making contact, it's not going to turn on while it's in shipping. Also that it uses magnetic charging, and they recommend you fully charge the battery before you use it. Comes with the user manual, and this will tell you how to initiate or engage each of the modes that it does come with, as well as all of the specifications and usability. Now this is the plastic packaging that the actual light came in to make sure that it arrived scratch-free. And one nice thing about the Javelot Mini is it does come with a nice carry holster. You can see, pushes down, very satisfying click when it's fully engaged. Takes a little bit of pressure, so even if you have to run with it while it's on your belt, you're not going to have to worry about it coming off, losing your light. And it has a very deep recession right here to make sure that it doesn't come off of your belt and you just lose everything. Made of a very durable plastic. I can't tell offhand if this is ABS or some sort of PC ABS hybrid, or how the whole thing works out, but feels very premium, nice and smooth, no finish issues, nothing as far as the quality is going to be concerned that is a negative mark on this. Also inside the accessory pouch you do have the new MCC1A finished in a nice black color, and that's going to be everything that comes with your Javelot Mini. Now let's get this box out of the way and get into the entire flashlight, some of the specifications, what I think of each of these specifications, and the build quality, and so on and so forth. So here we go. And one of the first things you'll notice about the Javelot Mini is that for its throw, it is an awful short flashlight. Now, if you compare it to, say, the Javelot Pro 2, that has two 21700 batteries, so quite a bit longer than this. And this one doesn't have the 21700 battery. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have a full-size 18650. What this does have is an 18500 cell. So relatively short considering it's such a large flashlight. Now this has a lot to do with the fact that it has the push button built into the back tail cap. The tail cap does screw in instead of on the outside of the battery tube, and it has a long deep reflector. Now if we take a look at the rear, you'll see that it does have one single switch located at the back, and it is a two-stage switch, which is also the connection point for its magnetic charger. And if we grab that real fast, you'll see that it makes contact with the actual head of the switch. Now one nice thing about it is the holster is designed to allow you to charge with the flashlight in place. And given the width of the light, you'll see that it does fit firmly in hand. You will need a second hand to operate the tail switch if you hold it in a standard grip, but if you hold it overhand, your thumb accesses that rear tail cap very easily, able to turn it on, switch between modes with ease. Now that two-stage switch does take a little bit of getting used to if it's your first time activating it. However, you get used to it pretty quick. And this ribbed design on the battery tube does give you a lot of confidence when you're actually holding the light. If you're going overhand and activating the switch, you don't feel like it's ever going to fall out of your hand. And the battery tube does actually come out. It protrudes here at the tail cap, so you don't have to worry about it slipping either. Now if you've been paying attention to the rear of this, or even the front of this, you'll see that there are no lanyard points, so you are pretty limited to being able to pocket carry this or using it in the holster. And again, the holster has a deep clip on it, so it just slides right on your belt, and I had no issues with feeling like this was secure. Did not feel like it was going to come off at all. And again, I do feel like this light is designed or intended to be carried inside that holster, which makes it great for anyone who has to carry a light full time but doesn't want to take up pocket space, like security guards or anything of that nature, maybe law enforcement. And the actual design or utilization of the reflector as well as the long throw would make this fantastic for being able to use it in more of a medium range search and rescue or anything like that. Additionally, on top of that, there is a Javelot tack, and that's basically this same light here, but designed to be used on a weapons mount system. Now when it comes to the build quality of this light, I have to say that it is very much on par with standard Olight quality, and that's not a bad thing at all. They've mastered what they do. You always feel like you have a premium product in your hand, especially for the price. And in this case, you can get the Javelot Mini in black and OD green. Now, because it is Olight again, I'm sure other colors will be coming out shortly, if they're not already in the works. But the black anodizing on this 6061 aluminum feels fantastic in the hands. I have no issues with any part of this. I haven't found any flaws in the machining, and I don't think you will either. However, if you do get one that does have any flaws in the machining, or if something just doesn't work out of the box, they do have a 5-year warranty on their lights, but in the first 30 days you can return it, no questions asked. Now since we spent a little bit of time talking about the rear of this light, let's move towards the front. You will see that the bezel is that same sapphire blue that they use on a lot of existing Olight products, and it does have what I can only describe to as cut in by a turbine or something along those lines into the head of this light. It does have a glass lens, very deep, smooth reflector, and you can see the LED in this one, as opposed to a lot of their TIR optic lights like the Baton 3 Pro that I just reviewed recently. Now this deep smooth reflector will throw that LED out there for quite some time. I'll see if I can turn it on here on the desk. With this light specifically, you'll see a very distinct hotspot, especially up close. When you get further out, it does expand, not like an LEP or anything like that, but you'll notice a little bit of corona effect around the outside of that hotspot. And that carries over, but it's really only visible at closer ranges. Additionally, the temperature rating that came on this light, I did test it at lower modes. It tested around 5500 K on the temperature scale with about a 60 CRI, so not the greatest in terms of color rendering, but in high mode it did come in at 5700 K, so it does appear a little cooler when you're in high. Now that high and low mode that I was just talking about, those do come through in the two-stage switch, and if you do a half press, it will engage low mode, then you can press fully, it engages high. However, if you keep the button depressed halfway, it will do a temporary low mode, and as soon as you release your thumb, it'll drop back off. Now, one thing I didn't find on this is the fact that I don't see any way, and nothing in the instruction manual, about any sort of lockout. So I would say it's more beneficial to try to keep it in the holster than to try to do a pocket carry. We don't want anything turning on accidentally in our pocket. And then power in that low and high mode, we spoke about it a little bit earlier. It does have an 18500 cell, 3.6 volts, 2040 milliamp hours, and does use the new MCC1A black style charger. I have to say, kind of a fan of the color change. Now, the battery does come in a little larger than a standard 18500, and that has to do with the fact that this has overcurrent protection, as well as the special terminals that allow the magnetic charging cable to work with it. And this battery did charge up in 3 hours and 14 minutes, and that was from the time the battery shut off from low voltage. Now, the battery did fully charge in 3 hours and 14 minutes, and according to the specifications, in low, you're supposed to be able to get 4 hours and 57 minutes out of this. Now, during my testing, I did come up just a little shy of that. It was 4 hours and 36 minutes, and that was low mode. But in high mode, you're supposed to get an hour and 33 minutes. Now, keep in mind, twice as bright. It's not going to last as long, but specified runtime was an hour and 33 minutes, and I got right around that. It was 1 hour 31 minutes. So, all in all, I think their specifications are pretty spot on. Now, one interesting thing to note is that this does have a vibration system to let you know when your battery is running low, instead of a standard indicator on, a switch or a button or, a couple indicators anywhere else. What this does is it'll vibrate to let you know exactly where it's at as far as battery is concerned. Now, when it hits 30% on the battery, it will vibrate once every 5 minutes, and it's kind of interesting to feel it for the first time. I was a little thrown off by the fact that my flashlight is buzzing in my hand. When you do hit 10% though, it will vibrate twice every 10 minutes. Now, when you do hit 10%, it will vibrate twice every minute, and when you hit 5%, it'll vibrate every 10 seconds. Seems a little counterintuitive because I know that's going to take more power and decrease your runtime a little bit, but it's what they have implemented, and it does work, although it's not exactly how I would probably put it. Now, I have to say that I'm quite pleased with the output that this light gave me for that hour and 31 minutes. It's rated at 1000 lumens. I ended up getting 1104, which comes to about an 11% increase. I'm never going to say no to free light. For low mode, it's rated at 200 lumens, and I got just over that as well. Not quite as high, not that same 11%, but I did get 206 lumens. So that comes to 3%. That's not bad at all. It's better than your light being rated for X and finding out that the Y that it actually falls at is way less. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take this outside. I'll get you guys some night shots of it. I'll compare it to the Nextorch P82, another long-range thrower. Definitely not in the same class as this. They're quite a bit different. One's a much larger frame, but you'll be able to see how two different throwers compare to each other. Then we'll come back inside and we'll touch up on a couple things, my final thoughts, and then I want your guys' input as well. So down in the comments below, you're going to tell me what you guys think of this. So let's get outside, get those night shots, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, here's a nighttime test of the Javelot Mini. And here is low. And high. And then something to compare it to. We have the Nextorch P82. Here we have medium, low, and high. Now the Javelot Mini, again, is 1000 lumens at 600 meters. The Nextorch P82 is 1100 lumens at 1200 meters. And just for good measure, here again is the Javelot Mini in medium and high. Alright, let's get back inside and we'll go ahead and finish this up. Alright guys, there you have it. We just compared the Nextorch P82 beam shots as well as the Javelot Mini beam shots, and you can see what the output difference is. And I have to say, final thoughts, that I really like the form factor. It's quite a bit larger in a tube, although I feel it could use a larger battery. But the larger tube makes it easy for my hands, and I'm 6'2", over 200 pounds. But the form factor gives you a lot of throw and output for its size. That deep reflector definitely helps. And it's just a complete package. Has everything you need, has a holster you can carry it in, it has the charger, so you never have to worry about anything as far as not having everything you need for this light to be ready to go. Now, as far as drawbacks of this light, I have to say that the tactical switch does take a little bit of getting used to. It's a very fine line between that half press and then a full press, and getting used to it is something that requires a little bit of work. Overall, with the throw and the fit and finish, I have to say that Olight has a very nice light on their hands. I definitely approve. So now I need you guys to tell me what you think down in the comments below. If you think that the Javelot Mini is a knockout of the park, or if they need to go back to the drawing board and start over. So now make sure that you like, subscribe, and share the video. We'll be drawing another winner for our giveaway very soon, and this time it could be you. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one.